We're going to get to some topics, so thanks for joining us. Sticking for host chat. What is trending today, G?
Oh, well, you know what? On Twitter, it's Times 100, the magazine releasing its list of the most influential people of 2017, and on it, global leaders, CEOs, of course, movie stars, and two Chicago guys, Chance the Rapper and Cubs' Theo Epstein.
Cool.
So congratulations to them both. Yeah.
Both doing big things. Of course, you remember Theo coming off being named, I think was it Forbes or Fortune?
Yes, Forbes, I believe.
Named him the most influential person in the entire world ahead of the Pope.
Yeah. No, Theo.
Yeah, Theo.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you were
ahead of the
Fortune.
Pope.
I agree with that. I agree.
Ahead of the Pope.
I agree with that.
Come on,
Listen, Wrigley Field is my church, so I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, you're still riding high from that World Series. Did you go to those games? You went to some?
Yeah, I was in Cleveland.
Yeah.
For the winning game?
Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing.
It still hasn't sunk in.
Yeah.
It has not sunk in. I'll be walking down the street and I see somebody wearing Cubs gear and it says World Series champions and I just go, what? Yeah. It's still, I don't think it'll ever sink in.
Well, when they win the second one this year, then it'll sink in.
Maybe.
Right?
Yes. Now, will this sink in with Chicagoans? Could pot save Illinois schools?
Well, you better elaborate quickly because people are going to say no.
All right. Well, listen. So legalizing marijuana is obviously on the plate right now, and it's been talked about all around the country. They've legalized it, of course, in Colorado, and brought in $200 million last year in the state of Colorado, which is now funding their public schools and, oddly, funding their rehab programs.
Right.
Sounds interesting.
And aren't folks getting checks back?
Yes, getting refunds back. I have a lot of friends who live in Colorado, cannot believe the surplus of the tax refund because there's so much extra money. It's a very controversial topic. We know that the state needs money, but is this the way to get it? What do you think?
Well, we kind of got to explore. We got to look at the plan and the model that that Colorado used. Because, if we are as broke as we are, at this point, we got to consider all options.
Yeah, especially with not only the schools being broke and maybe so broke, but also like the pensions, state workers. Everything that's going on in our state.
Mental health facilities closing, everything. And Lord knows we need all those mental health facilities to stay open.
We do.
We need that.
Yeah.
It's tough. What do you think, CM?
Oh boy! So you brought the straight edge guy.
Right. Doesn't drink.
But neither do we.
This might floor a lot of people, but I think you should legalize it across the board.
Yeah.
And that's coming from a guy who doesn't drink or smoke.
I don't drink and I don't smoke. But to me, what's worse, alcohol or marijuana?
Right.
To me, both can be crippling. You know, and you look.
Both are drugs.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's individual responsibility. I understand there's people who have problems and they can get lost. But saying that you can't smoke this, but you can smoke this. You can smoke these Marlboros or, this pack of cigarettes. To me, it's a little bit hypocritical. I think the pharmaceutical companies are the real criminals because they're jacking up prices of prescription medication, in some instances, things people need, like there's that whole controversy with the EpiPen. So they can drive up prices and they can all be billionaires, but people who need medicine because they're sick, whether it's cancer, glaucoma, I don't care what it is, if it helps them, legalize it.
Yeah, right.
Make the money and funnel it into the public school systems. We're relying on Chance the Rapper to give millions of dollars to Chicago public schools. I think the governor and the mayor should be embarrassed about that.
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I kind of, and you know how I feel about pot. I'm not.
I'm honest. We've never smoked, right?
Never smoked pot
That's the
in
best
my
part
life.
about it. You don't like it, you don't got to do it.
Yeah.
True.
Well, that's the thing about it, right?
That's true. But is it enticing to create other addictions for kids? That's I think that's the concern.
I think it's going to be there anyway, though. It's the same thing with
it
drinking
is, but
alcohol
making it easier
too.
to get.
By the way, today is 420, everyone. Just FYI. But
do you know what 420 is?
I have.
It's weed day. I didn't know that.
I have.
Yeah, our audience members do.
It's also Hitler's birthday, so I don't know if you.
I have a ton of friends that smoke pot. They do. You'd be surprised. There are lots
I'm
of people
not surprised by that, G.
There's lots of people lots of people that do edibles and professionals,
Sure.
and it runs a gamut. There are people that like literally that's all they do and they can't leave their mom's basement, and then there are people that are working professionals. But obviously you can't, be doing things under the influence.
Is
like
it okay
driving.
to smoke pot with your kids though?
Oh no, I don't know.
Singer Melissa Etheridge says it's okay, but her kids are 18 and 20, so we're not talking little kids. Oh, so no, you're not okay with that. You think if they legalize marijuana, nobody's going to smoke with their kids?
Might be a really weird bonding experience, you know?
Yeah.
Might open up to each other and say some stuff that you've been holding on to for years,
All right. Well, would you let your kids call you by your first name? No? All right, there's an article where a mom says that she didn't like it at first, but now she kind of prefers it. Her kids
Really?
call her by their first. I think it would be weird to call your mom and dad by their first
Yeah.
name. Wouldn't it?
Every once in a blue moon, I'll call my mom by her first name. Every once in a blue moon.
But when you're mad, right?
But
No, I don't get mad at it.
But your mom is saved by her first name in your phone, right?
Yeah. In my phone, she's Diane Jackson.
Okay.
Oh.
Isn't that? That's interesting.
Is that weird?
Yeah.
I would just put
But
mom.
then look at what if something happens to me, right? And then
They're going to search for mom.
you think I'll say sure?
You're supposed
But then they won't know mom's
You're supposed to
name.
put in like ice, like in case of emergency, so that they can find the person. So
I
you're
did
supposed
not
to put
know that.
So
Did
put
you know
in
that?
ice
No.
next to.
I didn't either.
If I'm in
Yeah.
trouble, nobody's getting into my phone anyway.
Yeah,
It's locked.
that's true.
You know? Like,
Yeah,
they're going to
true,
be like
true.
giving me CPR. Like,
Yeah.
what's your password?
That's very interesting. Did you guys know about ice?
No.
Ice.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
No,
Well, I call my mom by her first name to be cute sometimes. Like, just
Yeah.
to be cute. Like, and sometimes I'll call, like, for example, I'll call you, well, your name's already short, but like with Val's, I'll say Valerie. I'm like,
Yes.
Valerie, like
Yeah.
that, you know?
Yeah, I call my dad Pops. I've called him Pops for like 15 years. At first, he didn't like it because he thought it sounded old. Like, hey, but now my dad is old, so he loves it.
You know what?
He loves Pops now.
Cute.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing about it. I think it's okay once you become an adult. It's different if you have a teenager or a toddler or someone little calling you by your first name. But when you then become both adults, and every now and then if you say them by, I think that's okay.
Right.
I think there's definitely intent, right? Like if if I'm mad at my dad and I go, okay, whatever, Dan. I think there's an intent and there's a respect thing. I know every time I'm in trouble, my wife, I get the full name treatment. Philip Brooks, and I go, all right.
That's it.
I cross the line.
Yes. Well, we're going to call you CM, but we want you to come back and co-host sometime. Will you sit in
Yeah,
this chair?
absolutely. It's up to them. It's up to them.
Yes. Make sure you check out his wife's book, Crazy is My Superpower. It's a great read. And also, CM is going to be signing autographs at the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo. I know we've got a couple people going at McCormick Place, so make sure you go and check them out.
Yep.
All right? And it's in the book right there.
Yes, that's right.
Right.
All
Okay,
right. Hey, go ahead. Is this you?
Oh, yeah, no, sorry.
One of us. All right. Some viewers had a chance to hang out with G on yesterday.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Last night, I accompanied 10 lucky WCL fans and their guests for the VIP experience to see Cavalia Odiseo. Now, there was food, of course, drinks, and of course, the fabulous show. Now, if you haven't seen it yet, it is an absolute must-see. It is so magical, and the show has just been extended to May 7th, and we even got to go behind the scenes to the stables and see the horses, and I got to hug a horse and like pet it. Yeah, and look into its eyes. Like, it was amazing. I want to adopt the horse. They have an adoption program too for the horses.
Do they really?
Yeah, after the horses retire, you can adopt one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, like actually have it live with you?
Yeah.
In your
You know,
apartment?
I mean, barn in the stables.
Right. But sometimes you can adopt them and just support them from somewhere else.
I see.
Yeah. All right. Hey.
Just have the horse in a one bedroom.
That's it. Coming up, Real Housewife Giselle Bryant is here, and later NBA champ Craig Hodges is in the house. We'll be right back. CM Punk.